Why I believe in God. This is a 7-part series when I will delve on keywords that start with the letters of the word believe. So in this part 1, I take the letter B. B stands for big. I believe in God because God is big, He is bigger than me. So what comes to my mind when I think of God as being bigger than me? The first statement that comes to my mind is that God is the big controller of this universe. If I look for a daily life example, I encounter complex networks of various kinds, such as the busy London Underground network, or the complex set of 5 roundabouts known as the Swindon Magic Roundabout, or the Internet network that we use every day. Although it may seem that things are whizzing past out of control, I know that there is someone or something in the background who is in control and who has programmed the signals of this busy train network or has put in place a protocol that must be observed by everyone using the magic roundabout, or who has implemented network policies that control how packets of information are routed around the IP network. Personal implication. For me personally, it is God who is in control of this entire universe. And because God is in control, I am able to surrender and place control of my life in the hands of this big controller. Having done this, I know that all is well, and this brings peace into my heart. If I held the opposite view, if I didn't believe in God, I would have thought, there is no God and no one is in control. Everything is chaos around me, and one day it will all come crashing down. Statement 2. The second statement that comes to my mind is that God is bigger than all my problems. In my daily life, as I drive around, I come across cars that have broken down by the side of the road. I think of the driver who is unable to remedy the situation and has to call upon someone or something that is bigger than the problem. The driver calls the breakdown services and lets out a big sigh of relief when the recovery truck actually arrives on the scene, as the driver knows that the breakdown mechanic has the capacity to overcome the problem either by fixing the problem on the spot or by towing the broken down car to a garage where it can be fixed. Personal implication. For me personally, I know that God is bigger than any problem I may face, and this, in comparison, makes my problem small. This gives me the peace of mind to be calm and to get down on my knees and pray, asking for His guidance and insight into how I need to navigate out of the problem. Opposite view. If I did not believe in God, I would have thought that there is no hope when I am faced with a problem. I would be lost and dejected and would have to rely on my own strength and means to get out of the problem. Statement 3. The third statement that comes to my mind is that God sees the big picture. A daily life example. In my daily life, I play the role of solution architect on a project, and I have to engage with the enterprise architect in order to understand how my little project fits into the big picture. I have to ensure that the solution I develop adheres to the principles, standards, and roadmaps laid down by the enterprise architect. I do this because I am unable to see the big picture from where I am positioned, but the enterprise architect, from their position, are able to see the big picture and thus direct and advise on the best course of action for the little projects to ensure that they are a perfect fit within the big picture. Personal implication. For me personally, I trust God that from His viewpoint, He is able to see the big picture, and that I need to abide by His principles, His standards, and His roadmaps set out for my life, so that my work, my actions, my thoughts, my desires are all in sync, and that there is a perfect fit of my existence within His big picture. Opposite view. If I did not believe in God, I would have questioned the need to follow any protocols or standards, as no one would have been able to see the big picture. This would mean that I would have to devise my own standards that are beneficial to me and my needs, and that it would not matter if these standards had a negative impact on others or the world around me. Statement 4. The fourth statement that comes to my mind is that God is my big brother. A daily life example. In my daily life, I have seen numerous examples where an elder brother or a big brother provides care and support to a younger brother. I know of a personal example where a big brother helped his younger brother with financial support towards getting married and buying their home. I know of another example where an elder brother gave up his own higher education to begin work in order to support the younger siblings. I know of another case where an elder brother acted as the sponsor in procuring a visa for the younger brother. Personal implication? For me, personally, God is my big brother. He is someone who knows what I need and is there to provide a helping hand. I feel secure knowing that there is someone who keeps a watch out for me and will say, "He ain't heavy, he is my brother." Opposite view. If I did not believe in God, I would have felt alone and would have no one to turn to. I would have to rely on myself or my family. I would have to rely on friends, colleagues, but I would never feel reassured that these would definitely be able to help me out of any situation. Statement 5. The fifth statement that comes to my mind is that God is the big boss. A real life example. In my daily life, I consider the big boss as someone who is in power. He has wealth and is able to offer protection or employment. I would turn to the big boss to mediate when there are problems, or when I need protection from those who would seek to harm me, or when I need a monetary advance to address some urgent need in my family. Personal implication. For me personally, God is my big boss. Why would I fear when God is near? Who would dare come close to me to harm or steal from me? God has power, wealth, and protects me from all evil. All I need to do is to claim His protection over my life. Opposite view. If I did not believe in God, I would have to arm myself and keep a watch over my back. I would have been in constant state of weariness, not knowing from which direction the next attack would come. I would have been afraid. Statement 6. The last statement that comes to my mind is that God is big-hearted. A real-life example? In my daily life, I've seen numerous cases where people have big hearts. They sacrifice their time, their money, and their effort in doing charitable works. They have big hearts that make them show warmth and affection to people around them, and I'm sure that they draw inspiration from someone or somewhere beyond themselves. Personal implication. For me personally, God is big-hearted. There is only one emotion I feel when I think of God, and that is the feeling of being with someone who is big-hearted. God sacrifices Himself for me. He shares His time, wealth, and effort to ensure that I am touched in a personal way and that I experience His warmth and affection. Opposite view? If I did not believe in God, I would have been the loser, as I would not have known what it is to be with someone who is big-hearted. I would have sought to be selfish and to try and gain things for myself. So, as I conclude part 1, which is B for big, I sum up the 6 statements that resonate in my mind when I say that I believe in God because God is bigger than me. Statement 1, God is the big controller of this universe. Statement 2, God is bigger than all of my problems. Statement 3, God sees the big picture. Statement 4, God is my big brother. Statement 5, God is the big boss. And statement 6, God is big-hearted.